Hello my loves and welcome back to my channel. Welcome to today's video. I'm so excited for today's video because we have another little tier ranking. I did this a couple of weeks ago where I tier ranked popular books, and today I thought we'd do something similar, but we're going to be ranking romance tropes. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Okay, first things first, as always, let's go through the tiers that we have. At the bottom we have haven't read. This is pretty self-explanatory. This is a trope that I just haven't read yet. Above that we have please no. Please no. Just no. This is a trope that just isn't for me, that I just don't get on with and that I just don't love to see in a book. Above that we have take it or leave it. This is something that's kind of in the middle, a middle road kind of trope. I don't really mind it, I don't love it. Take it or leave it. Above that we have when it's done right. So this is a trope that I'm quite particular about maybe, and when it's done right it works really well and that I really like it, but when it's done wrong it's not my favourite thing, or I'm just not that fussed about it. Then next tier up from that is yeah, I like this. I like this. This is a trope that majority of the time I like. And then we have love, 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 which is the top tier. This is a trope that just hits every single time, and if you tell me that a book has any of these tropes that are going to be in this tier, I will want to read it immediately. So they're our 6 tiers that we have, and at the bottom, as you can see, we have our tropes that we're going to be ranking. Okay, starting off strong, very strong, with only one bed. I don't know what it is about this trope, but it gets me every time. I don't care how many times I read this trope, every single time it's going to make me giddy. It's going to make me giddy, it's going to make me kick my feet. I genuinely think this is probably a love, love, love. I think this is a top tier trope. And I genuinely don't care how much it's overused and how much it's overdone. I love it. I love it. And there's also nothing quite like the disappointment of when you think it's going to be an only one bed trope and then he ends up sleeping on the floor. Yeah. Love triangle. Okay, this one I feel like a lot of people really don't like. I personally don't mind this. I don't mind it. I like it when it's done right, and I like having a side to root for. So like the Summer I Turned Pretty, I quite like that love triangle because it kind of does make sense for Belly as a character, and I like having a side to root for. Conrad, if anybody's wondering, always Conrad. So I think I'm gonna put this in when it's done right. Fake dating. Okay, I feel like this is in majority of the romance books that I have read. Some form of fake dating I feel like is very common, but I don't mind this. I really don't mind this. I quite like it when it makes sense. If it is purely just the plot of the book, it's not my favourite thing, but when the characters end up in a situation where it makes sense for them to fake date, I quite like it. So I'm gonna put this in. Yeah, I like this. Friends to lovers. I love friends to lovers. I feel like this is something that I kind of realised I liked later on in my reading journey. I feel like I'm quite gravitated towards friends to lovers, especially childhood friends to lovers. I don't think that is actually on here. I will say that I do more so prefer it with childhood friends to lovers. I will eat that up every single time. Every single time. But friends to lovers as well, I quite like this. I quite like it. I'm not sure it's a love, love, love situation. Oh, I don't know, because if that was childhood friends to lovers, I would put it in love, love, love. I'm gonna put it in yeah, I like this. Because I'm kind of thinking of like people we meet on vacation, and I didn't love it in that book. I didn't love that book at all, and I didn't love how it was done, but I think that's mainly to do with the miscommunication rather than the actual friends to lovers. I'm gonna put it in yeah, I like this, but if that was childhood friends to lovers, it would be in the tier above that. False proximity, another one that I have seen a lot in romance books. I quite like this. I feel like it does definitely depend on the situation that the characters have been put in, and it definitely depends on where they are and the vibe. So I'm actually going to put this one in when it's done right. When it's done right. Forbidden love. Ooh, okay. Okay, there is something so sexy about forbidden love and I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is about it. Again, obviously it depends on the reason that it's forbidden, because if it's forbidden for some weird reason, not a bit of me. No. But forbidden love, borderline enemies, or they just cannot be together, I quite like that. I quite like that. I think I'm going to put this in when it's done right, just based on, I know that some forbidden love books can be kind of for immorally grey reasons. Bully romance. Okay, I have only read one bully romance, I think, so I don't think I'm the best judge of this, but there is just something about it that just does not grab me. I don't know. I just feel like majority of the time when this is done, it's done in a very, very mean way, to the point where I'm like, how are you coming back from that? Like, there is literally no coming back from the way you treat this person. So I am actually going to put this in please no. Please no. But that's just my personal opinion right now, having only read literally one book, and that was Things I Wanted to Say by Monica Murphy. And I just feel like he was so mean to her. Like, he was a real bully, and I just think that vibe is not for me. Second chance. I like a second chance. Okay, I like a second chance. I'm thinking like Happy Place. I'm thinking Magnolia Parks. I quite like a second chance romance. I think, is it one of my favourites? Is it one of my favourites? I don't think it is one of my favourites. I think I'm gonna put this in, yeah, I like this. Insta love. Immediately, no. Please, no. No, no, no. I like it when the characters have an instant attraction to each other or an instant connection of some sort. Like, maybe they feel like they've known each other forever, or they feel a really strong tether to each other almost. But I don't like it when they're just immediately obsessed with each other and they're immediately like, I'm literally in love with you. I don't like that. I just don't find it believable. And if I'm not finding the romance believable, then I'm not going to be necessarily rooting for them or like that bothered about them. Workplace romance. I don't think I've read a workplace romance. Have I? Does Daisy Jones and the Six count? Because technically they work together. I feel like I haven't really read this trope properly, so I'm gonna put it in haven't read. Brother's Best Friend, again, I don't think I've read this properly. I think I would quite like this though. I think I would. But I can't think off the top of my head of any book that is Brother's Best Friend. I'm gonna have to put this in haven't read because if I can't think of any. But I do think I would quite like that trope. So if you have any Brother's Best Friend recommendations for me. Grumpy Sunshine. Okay, this is a trope that I feel like is quite overdone, and I don't love it when the grumpy side is more borderline mean. And I feel like when I first got into reading, this trope was in every single romance book that I picked up, and I feel like I've read quite a lot of this trope, and I definitely would say that when it's done right, I quite like it. I do quite like it. But when it's done wrong, it's just kind of overdone, and it's not my favourite thing. So I'm gonna put this in when it's done right. Miscommunication. Okay. Okay. I feel like this is a very commonly hated trope, and I'm not gonna lie, I don't hate this trope, but I do think it's really, really difficult to get it right. I really, really don't like it when it's done wrong. Because it's so frustrating, but when it makes sense for the characters, and if it's done in a way that it's not just them literally not speaking to each other, when it's done, it's so hard to like pinpoint what it is that I like about it when it's done right, but I do think that this is a really tricky one to get right. I think I'm probably going to put this in Take It or Leave It, because I would put it in when it's done right, but it is quite, like, I don't necessarily love it when it's done right. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's okay when it's done right. And I think there is such a thin line between them literally not talking to each other and also miscommunication. I know that probably makes no sense, but I can't really explain it. I'm gonna put it in Take It or Leave It. Opposites Attract. Ooh, I feel like I'm impartial to this. I almost feel like I don't really have an opinion on this one. I'm gonna put it in Take It or Leave It. It's not my favourite thing. I don't mind it. It's just kind of middle ground, middle of the road. Jealous or possessive? Please no. Please no. Listen, okay. I like a little bit of a, this is my girl, this is my woman, and she's mine, but not in a she's mine and I control everything you do and you can't do this or you can't do that. I don't like an over possessive way. I like a sort of acknowledgement that you are each other's. And a sort of, that's my girl, you know? Not a, you're my girl, you're my girl. And you have to do everything I say. I don't like that. The one that is really sticking out to me is Alex in Twisted Love. He is so over possessive and I just could not deal with it. I couldn't deal with it. So I do like a little bit of, I don't even know what the word is, like protectiveness, and also a little bit of like, yeah, she's for me, we are each other's, rather than jealous or possessiveness. So I'm gonna put this in please no. Rivals to lovers. Whenever I think of this trope, I always think of like academic rivals. I don't even know whether that does only mean academic rivals. I guess it could mean all sorts of rivals. I feel like I haven't really read this trope, especially not academic rivals to lovers. I'm gonna put it in haven't read. Sports romance. I love a good sports romance. There is something about it. There is something about it. I do think there have been so many recently. I feel like there was a real influx of sports romances, and I feel like I personally went off reading them a little bit, but I think a sports romance is something that I will always come back to. Where do I put this? Is it a love, love, love situation? I think just because recently I haven't been gravitating towards it as much, I'm gonna put it in, yeah, I like this, but it is nearly a love, love, love. Accidental pregnancy. I haven't read that many accidental pregnancy. I've literally read one. Now I'm thinking about it, I'm like, the only one that I read was Reckless by Elsie Silver. That's literally the only one that I can think of. And I had heard so many mixed things about this trope in general, and I know people tend to not absolutely love it, and I can actually see why. Like, I can imagine it and I can see why. But in Reckless, I actually quite liked how it was done. I did quite like how it was done. Is it something that I'm overly fussed about? Probably not. So I'm gonna put this in take it or leave it. It's not the most offensive trope in the world. I've heard that Out on the Limb is a really good accidental pregnancy romance, and I would be really intrigued to pick that up and see what that one was like, because I know that a lot of people that don't usually like this trope really liked how that book was done and everything. So I would be intrigued. I would be. Who did this to you? Immediately going in love, love, love. There is something about this line. I will never recover. I will never recover. I cannot even tell you the visceral reaction I have when this comes up in a book. It hits every single time, and you cannot convince me otherwise. It hits every time without fail. Age gap. Look, I don't care for it. I don't care for it. It's not a please no, I don't think. It's just kind of like a what's the need? But I don't hate it. I just don't love it. I'm gonna take it or leave it. Bodyguard romance. Okay. I quite like this, you know. I quite like it. I'm thinking of Twisted Games. I really liked Reese, I want to say his name is. Am I wrong? But Twisted Games, man. I liked that dynamic. I did. I liked that dynamic. I think I'm gonna put this in, yeah, I like this. I don't think I've read that many books with this trope in, because Twisted Games is literally right now the only one that I can think of. But I did quite like it in that, and I think I would like it again. So it's going in, yeah, I like this. Single parent, okay. I know that this trope is very much loved. Very much loved. For me, I don't really care for it. I don't know what it is, but it just doesn't really like add anything for me personally. I just feel like it's okay. It's okay. I'm gonna take it or leave it. The nanny trope. I, again, feel like I've only read Heartless by Elsie Silver with this trope in, and it didn't make me absolutely obsessed with this trope. I'm probably gonna say take it or leave it. Enemies to lovers. Enemies to lovers! Look, you can't blame me, okay? You can't blame me. This is immediately going in love, love, love. There is something about it. There is something about it. I just love a bit of tension. I love a bit of tension, and Enemies to Lovers is all tension. Enemies to Lovers with a slow burn. Don't even get me started. Don't even get me started. And especially when it's done right, when they are actually truly enemies rather than just a dislike for each other, like when they are enemies. I love. The amnesia trope. Okay, I think this is one that I would really, really like. I think I would really, really like it. I think I've read a couple of romance books with this trope in, not necessarily with it at the centre of the plot, but definitely with it as kind of a sub-trope in there. And I do quite like it. I do quite like it. I feel like I haven't read this properly, if that makes sense. I actually have pictures of you on my TBR this month, and that is all centered around the amnesia trope. So I would be really interested to see what I think of this trope after I've read that book. But for now, I think I'm gonna put it in when it's done right, because in some books, I was gonna give an example then, but I can't really because it's sort of a spoiler. But in some books that I've read, It's kind of just been thrown in there, and it's a trope that I do tend to quite like, but in that particular book I was just not there for it, and it just felt very much just a thrown in there trope. So I'm gonna put it in when it's done right. I am so intrigued though to see what I think after I've read Pictures of You. Billionaire romance. This one, I think this is a take it or leave it for me. I know that's probably going to be kind of a controversial opinion. I know that this is quite loved, but it doesn't really make a difference to me if either of the characters are billionaires or not. Like, I don't know. I kind of feel like it almost takes away a bit from the actual romance, because the character who's not the billionaire is kind of overwhelmed with how much money they have and like what they're doing and like the dates that they take them on and everything. Like, I just feel like in a way it kind of takes away from the romance a little bit. I don't know if I'm alone in thinking that, but I'm probably gonna put this in take it or leave it. Mafia romance. This is another one that I feel like I haven't read properly, and I would love to read more mafia romances because I think I would absolutely love them. The one that's really standing out to me is like Daisy Hates with Julian and all that, and I loved it in that book, and I don't even think that necessarily counts as like a strong mafia romance because it's not at the heart of the plot. But I'm gonna put this in, yeah, I like this. I like this. I like a little bit of high stakes, a little bit of danger. I like it. Soulmates. Soulmates. Stop it. Stop it. Even thinking about this trope makes me giddy. I cannot even explain my love for the soulmates trope. I cannot explain it. I don't know what it is, okay? I don't know what it is. There's just something about people being destined for each other that just gets me every time. I genuinely think if I had to pick my all-time favourite romance trope, I think it would be this. I think it would be this. I'm gonna put this in love, 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 in case you couldn't tell already. Slow burn, another one that I love. I love the tension, the build up. Oh, give it to me. Give it to me. Marriage of Convenience. I don't think I've read this, you know? I don't think I've read this. I don't even really have an opinion on what I would think of this trope. I can't imagine it. I don't know. I don't know if that sounds really weird. Like, I just can't. I don't know. That would be interesting to see, to find out. And then the last one we have is Right Person, Wrong Time. This is kind of borderline soulmates to me because we're talking right person, wrong time. This just feels like these two people are destined to be together. They can't quite make it work for whatever reason at this time. And usually, hopefully, they're always drawn back to each other and they end up together. So this is gonna have to go in love, love, because it's borderline soulmates trope as well. And I also really do quite like the will they won't they kind of vibe, and especially when it's spread over a lot of time as well. Like Seven Summers is one of my favourite kind of right person wrong time books because it's spread over quite a lot of time. You just never know where those characters are going to be in their life and if they're ever going to be able to make it work and if it will ever be the right time, right person, right time. That's my tier ranking of some popular romance tropes. I don't know why it's so funny to me that I have the most in Take It or Leave It. But I feel like they're pretty even, actually. I would quite like to read some of the ones that are in my haven't read. If you have any book recommendations for the ones in my haven't read tier, I would love to know. And I'd also absolutely love to know your favourite romance trope. I'm gonna have to say that mine is the soulmate trope. For definite. I really, really hope that you enjoyed watching. I absolutely love filming these tier ranking videos. They're just so much fun. And if you're still here, if you've made it to the end, you're amazing. Leave a little star emoji in the comments so that I know. And I will hopefully see you in my next video.